In 1998, a major retrospective exhibition of Goldie's work, curated by the Auckland Art Gallery, was shown at the Robert McDougall Art Gallery in Christchurch. Canterbury Television interviewed eminent art historian Dr. Jonathan Mané-Wheoki about Goldie's much-debated representation of Maori. As well as his in-depth knowledge of art, Dr. Mané-Wheoki was ideally placed to speak from the perspective of both cultures. His mother was Pākehā, and through his Maori father, he had affiliations to Ngāpuhi, Te Aupouri, and Ngati Kuri.
I accept the images as true representations of the people they represent. There's a certain amount of prettying up. Goldie had a whole bag of props and costumes and so on. So, in order to make the images just that much more picturesque. But I find myself trying to think what is going on behind the masks of the faces, and I also look at the messages that Goldie is coding into the pictures as well, the sense of desolation, of ruination, of loss, of decay. That is all part and parcel of the belief in the 1890s and early years of the 20th century that an ancient way of life was rapidly coming to a close. What we see here are people who carry on the ancient traditions but have changed enormously. They represent the changes that have taken place up to their time through the massive disruption of colonization, which was a cataclysmic experience for these people, and they were having to adapt to a kind of life that their ancestors could never have imagined. When you come to the classic portraits by Goldie from about 1903 onwards, of course, one of the most remarkable things about the paintings is the intensity of their realism. And there again, Goldie is linking into a tradition of French academic painting. You might call it photographic realism or academic realism or hard-edge realism, which links back to the 1840s and links back to the reaction of some French artists to the invention of photography. There were some artists who just despaired and felt there was no way that anybody could compete with the verisimilitude of photography. But others who thought, well, there are things that photography can't do. It can't do colour, and it can't do scale, and it can't do surface texture. People who look very closely at Goldie's paintings will be quite intrigued by the way in which he represents contrasting textures, and all of this is very much in line with the way in which French painting in particular developed throughout the 19th century.